Greetings, Dr. Will here. Welcome back to the serialization of What You Don't Know, Successfully Lead a Software Project Without Tech Expertise. Episode 25, Chapter 11, How to Keep a Handle on It All, Criticality of Configuration Management, Part 1. A development organization that fails at configuration management is inefficient and ineffective at developing software. Configuration management is as unsexy as it is critical to the success of a project. It is also one of the most complicated processes in information technology while being the basis for every other process. A quote from Darren Hardy, quote, "The path to success is through a continuum of mundane, unsexy, unexciting, and sometimes difficult daily disciplines compounded over time." Close quote. Once any software development artifact has been produced and identified as important enough to keep around, it must be managed and controlled. Changes to the artifacts represent and control the changes to the system as it evolves. Uncontrolled changes to the artifacts represent a lack of control of the evolution of the system. The lack of artifacts entirely represents a chaotic development environment supported only by the tribal knowledge of a technical team of uncertain composition and durability. Software development is a team sport, even if the team is an individual's past, present, and future selves. In any appreciably large system, there's more important information than any individual can reliably recall. And if the individual can recall it reliably, they will be constantly pestered by those who cannot. Those who develop software without artifacts, other than the code itself, are creating a serious risk to any organization that depends on the application. Nobody can guarantee that they will be around to maintain the code indefinitely into the future. Quote from Bersoff, quote, "No matter where you are in the system lifecycle, the system will change, and the desire to change it will persist throughout the lifecycle," close quote, which is reminiscent of a quote from Buckaroo Banzai, "No matter where you go, there you are." When working on a software element, how does an engineer know whether what they are working on is the latest correct version of that artifact? How can an engineer know that other team members are not trying to change the same artifact simultaneously? How does the engineer know that the work planned to be done on an artifact has not already been done by somebody else? These questions are even more vexing with a globally distributed team of independent contractors that, for example, many cash-strapped SaaS founders tend to favor. Agile teams coordinate daily through their stand-up meetings. Developers are, or should be, experienced at using one or more version control systems, Git, as a source code control system. It all boils down to a non-zero probability of a large amount of wasted effort and time and expense. For efficiency, the work should be partitioned. A partition is an assignment where everything is assigned to a person or subteam and nothing is assigned to more than one. Everything gets done and there is no waste. Approach. Configuration management is the art of identifying, organizing, and controlling modifications to the software artifacts being built by the programming team. The goal is to maximize productivity by minimizing costly inefficiencies. Each change needs to be identified and controlled as it is implemented. As a continual process-oriented discipline, configuration management is a never-ending cycle of identification, assignment, implementation, verification, and deployment. Changes are prioritized, grouped together, unless it is an emergency patch that is handled off-cycle, and assigned. A change needed in the system code, bug fix, or new feature may necessitate changes to be reflected into all relevant support artifacts. For example, design and requirements documents, forward into the test cases and test plans, and updates made to plans and other management documents. It is that set of tracking and control activities that begin when the software project begins and terminate only when the software is taken out of operations, retired. Configuration items. Software configuration consists of all the items, artifacts that comprise all the information produced and retained as part of the software development process. Software configuration items, SCIs, are the items that are controlled by the software configuration management SCM process. At any moment, there is a current baseline of information that describes the current state of the system under construction. A baseline is a specification or product that has been formally reviewed and agreed upon that thereafter serves as a basis for further development and can be changed only through formal change control procedures. Developers, especially those who have been burned previously by failing to manage their changes, tend to be good about managing their code base. Automated version control tools support team coordination. The processes are similar irrespective of what artifact is being managed. The tools differ, however. Source code also needs to be integrated with all other source code so that the continuous integration, continuous deployment, CI/CD practice can automatically feed the manual and automated testing processes.
The general process for source code goes something like this. First, an engineer checks out the current baseline of the relevant code. This may be all of the code or just one component, and downloads the set of source code files to work on. Second, they work on the code to effect the changes desired. Third, they check in the changes frequently. While still under development, the code should indicate that it is a work in progress WIP status. Be sure to synchronize occasionally. Fourth, when done, that is, when code passes the developer's unit test, let the configuration management system know that the code is ready to be reviewed and merged. Fifth, reviewers review the code and may suggest changes to the code to improve or correct it. If so, then go back to step 1. Sixth, once it passes review, the code is merged in with other changes made by other developers to the same file. Conflicts may arise during merge and need to be resolved. This is usually done by more senior engineers. Phew! Why all the complexity? Sounds elaborate and expensive.
That ends Chapter 11, How to Keep a Handle on It All. Criticality of Configuration Management, Part 1. Join us next time for Episode 26, Part 2 of Chapter 11. That's it for me, for you for now. Be careful out there. Bye.